Hi everyone, good afternoon. Well, medyo maulan lang this afternoon, but I hope everyone's snuggled up, everyone's keeping dry and safe during this time. We're here for the very first episode of our LIYAB live chats with career counselors. So I wanted to introduce the topic first. No, why are we talking to career counselors in the first place? It's because, well, we noticed with this school year just starting, I know that like you Gen Zs are entering an academic year that I feel like no one was prepared for. No one really saw this coming, happening this year. And, college and early career development is confusing enough without a global pandemic happening around you, right? So, with more and more students now feeling lost, confused during this time, I feel like you need support now more than ever. And that's really what LIYAB is here to offer career support especially during this time. But we don't do that alone. Actually, what's an amazing discovery for me this year is that there are so many schools with very active career centers. I mean, you just watched the video of TIP's efforts, for example, to provide career support even digitally now to their students. So I felt like this is a good way to get to know the different career support services available to different students. I mean, TIP is just the first of many schools that we are going to be featuring in this series. But don't worry, if you don't go to TIP or any of the schools we are featuring, this is a good way to even learn from the career counselors and even the career support officers in different schools and connect with them and ask them your questions if it's not available in your school yet. So, well, without further intro, and especially because this is just a 30-minute live chat today, and I know we're all worried about how the weather is going to affect today's broadcast, I wanted to introduce to you Miss Marley de Guzman and Miss Jessica Apo from the TIP Career Center. And I will actually let them introduce themselves through our first question this afternoon. And maybe we can start with Miss Jessica Apo because I wanted to ask her in her own words what is it that she does for the TIP Career Center. Miss Jessica?
Okay, hi, Mr. J, and hi everyone who's watching right now. Well, currently I am working for the TAP Career Center, and I've been working for TAP for almost a year as a career coach. And TAP Career Center has been a model career center and recognized with the USA Stride ID. And currently we have more than 20,000 students that we advise. And yeah, from that's the reason why I work as a career advisor. Just to give you my background, I graduated from Bachelor of Science in Psychology, and currently taking my master's degree. And I guess I was able to help different students from different programs.
All right. How about Miss Marley? If you can give
Hi,
us a bit more background on what you do for the Career Center of TIP.
yes, good afternoon, Ms. Rodriguez. So, again, I'm Arlie de Guzman. I'm the Student Development Program Officer of the Technological Institute of the Philippines Career Center, and I am in charge of career training and development, which focusing on giving career-related trainings to TIT students. And if you still remember what Dr. Frank, our director, said during your live chat with him, TIP Career Center established last 2014, and luckily I'm one of the pioneers who have been trained to help the TIP Career Center to give career education to its students or clients.
All right. So I wanted to ask more about, I mean, because we have a lot of students actually who are part of the LIYAB community and LIYAB audience. So I wanted to first start with what is it that Gen Z students can go to you for? Like, do you have any stories or situations that best, I guess, show what it is that how you help the students with? Maybe we can start with Miss Marley this time.
All right. Usually the most common these days is more about confidence. communication skills, personal branding, and professional world expectations. So, for example, maybe the reason why you are not confident in a job interview is that you know you are lacking good communication skills. So, they are too nervous because they are too afraid that they can explain what they want to explain. So, what I'm always giving them as advice is do not be afraid to commit mistakes because they will learn from there and try to expose themselves to the English language. Remember that English is there not to impress others, but to express your ideas. Personal branding can make or break you, right? So, like, for example, how do you want to be known for? Is it for being a person who walks his talk or a person who is dishonest? Or is it being a person who knows how to meet deadlines or one who always submits project late? So, no one is responsible for that but you. So, you have to work on it. It doesn't happen overnight, it takes time. And lastly, what I'm always telling our students that in the real world of professionals, it's not only about your technical skills. Your values really matter. Your attitude, upscaling your skills, willingness to learn from others must jive together. Nowadays, survey says that being digitally literate is one of their considerations now. So you have to be ready for it.
So as part of your job, Miss Morally, are there very like concrete things that you offer as help for your Gen Z students? Like for example, trying to figure out your values, what or your personal branding, what you want to build it around. Is that something that you work very closely with the students for? And what is the process of working with them on that one?
Yes, actually, Mr. Dre, we have this SDP journey that what we call student development program. Actually, we have four modules that they have to know about. Like for example, we have the self awareness module, the goal setting module, the values development, and the developing the winner's mindset. And from what you're saying, personal branding, it um, developing the winner's mindset covers personal branding, and we have this specific module for that we really want them to realize how important it is. We give examples to help them realize those and how do they want to be known for, right? So they are having this self-assessment na what is it my brand really, how my friends will think about my qualities or my attitude, right? So you have to like the Johari window, if you still remember that from the elementary or the high school days. You have to know what is in the open window that you and others know about you. And there are some qualities that we have that we know but others can see. And we also have these quality that we don't know but other people can see that.
All right. Thank you, Miss Marley. Because I like what I got from all of that is like you introduce a lot of self-awareness activities for the students. Because honestly, I feel like your work as career counselor, it's not necessarily your job to tell them who they are, right? But it's more on helping them discover that. And I love that you introduce a lot of like self-awareness exercises and modules into what you offer them. Now, Miss Jessica, I wanted to learn more about from your side. What are the things that the students can go to you specifically for in terms of like getting help with career development?
Okay, I guess I have top three concerns that the Gen Zs usually uh go to us. First is they're still confused what course to take in college. They are torn between this course and then with another course. I remember one student, he is torn in choosing between architecture and civil engineering. So I asked him these questions. What are your aspirations and what are you good at? While both requires growing skills, architecture is more into perspective and conceptual design, while the civil engineering is more on structural integrity by following structural standards. They make sure that the foundation is strong. So if you are more into logical or analytical, go for civil engineering. But when you are more in, or you are particular more with arts or aesthetics design, go for architecture. So, and I guess the second concern is student doesn't have any choice at all because they are required to take the program said by their parents, or there are some instances that they don't have any choice at all. That's why they decided to choose what is their peers or their friends took in college. So for example, their peers took the architecture program. So because they are my peers, I will also take architecture programs, even if I really don't know what will be the process or the things that I have to do in the architecture program or architecture course. And then lastly, I guess is graduating students are not sure what will be their jobs after graduation. So that is why career center we discuss career mapping, wherein we have career resources that students can go to us to know what are the available jobs for their program. So I guess that is the top three concerns from our dear students. So one, they are confused with the course. Second is they doesn't have any choice or option at all. And then lastly is graduating students are not sure with their job opportunity.
I love those examples, Miss Jessica, because, like, for example, the not having, feeling like they don't have a choice in what course they are gonna take, or they don't know, so they'll just listen to kung ano mang sinuggest ng parents nila or ng friends nila. I think is a very, very common occurrence. So I guess, like, I'm more curious about that because I know that there are people who are watching who probably feel the same. So gusto ko sana malaman parang how do you talk them through that as a career coach or a career advisor? How do you help them get over that feeling na they don't have a choice or they don't really know what to do next with their career, especially for those who are watching na yun nga hindi pa talaga sila completely sure dun sa kinuha nilang course ngayon. I think it relates also to the example that you gave about the civil engineering and architecture example. Kasi I feel like part of not being able to make that decision kasi is kulang yung information or yung research na alam nila about the career path eh. So parang, I mean, it's good now we have technology, we can Google these things, but I think it's different pa rin to get perspective or guidance from a coach or advisor eh. So I was wondering what's the process of talking to them about that? How do the conversations usually go?
Okay, we actually discussed the career pathing with our students. So we conduct that through our career navigation series. So during our freshman years, we conduct career navigation series with our students. So if ever the students doesn't have any choice at all because their parents wants them to have that program, we also have to check on the parents' perspective. What are the things that they consider why they want their children to have that program? Is it because the parents also choose that program, or is it because the parents saw someone who became successful with that career? So we also have to educate our parents. So as what you've said, we have to students should have to do researches. So what are the things that this kind of program, if I will take this course, what will be my future jobs, or what will be the things that I have to consider? We also have to inform our parents regarding that because maybe some of them also are not aware of what are the possible jobs for that program. I remember, Miss Deirdre, that I guess that's last week. I saw a segment in GMA Network wherein the parents wants to have, or the children wants to take the fine arts, or the wants to draw or to become a graphic artist, but the parents doesn't have any idea what will be the job for a graphic artist. All she know is you are going to pay on the street. So you also have to educate them that even if you're a fine arts, you can actually become successful on that field. So I guess we also have to inform them. And also for our dear students, you have to do a lot of research. You build connections with others who became successful with that field. So through that, you will able to find your future success. What will be, you have the goal that you're going to look forward to after you graduate on that program.
So I love that you incorporate in the process talking to the parents and like in a way educating the parents as well, because I feel like that's also a gap somewhere between like a communication thing between the student and the parent in terms of like what is it that you really want to do, and really just showing na no, there's a career path for this talaga, I really have a plan. Because I feel like as a parent, or I mean, well, I'm not a parent, but like um but like me as a big sister, one of my concerns also is like if I know that my younger brother is interested in a certain career path, I'm more just worried about whether he has a plan for that career more than anything. So I feel like what you're doing to support the students so that they have a career path, or what you said, career mapping, um eases a bit of the worries of like the parent na okay, may plano naman talaga siya, hindi naman kukunin to ng wala lang dahil gusto ko lang, pero dahil may plano naman yung anak ko for this course. Now I'm curious kasi 'di ba, parang Miss Jessica and Miss Marley, you handle different aspects of the career center. And I'm curious how the handoff is between Miss Jessica and Miss Marley. Kasi parang from what I'm understanding now, Miss Marley really provides a lot of the mindset parts of the career development, while Miss Jessica is more involved, I think, in the more personal like coaching talaga. Miss Marley with the modules na I think is delivered to a lot of students. For TIP, how is that process like? Are they done together, or is it like, is it with Miss Marley's team first, where you consume these self-awareness modules before you go into the like career consulting or advising with Miss Jessica? How does that work for the from the students' perspective? Maybe Miss Marley, you can give us a bit more um, clarity on what that looks like from the students' perspective.
Alright. That's why in TIP Career Center we call this one-stop shop, because as soon as they enter TIP as a first-year college, they already have career education. Like what I've said, our first module is self-awareness. So it is incorporated in one course that they have to go through, so that as early as first year, they will have a chance and a time for them to realize who they are, what do they want, and then after that, they will be having this goal setting, and they will be taught how to plot their goals. Okay, so they will trying to give them those kind of career education, and of course, in the middle of their stay of their school years in PIP, they will be having empowering them into some values development program until the developing the winner's mindset. Actually, that's the last module that they have to take before their internship. So because you're going to take your internship, and you're gonna face a lot of people, different perspective, company where you doesn't know about, so you have to be prepared. And that's the in their terminal year, they will be having this equipping process where they will know how to write down a resume, how to answer job interviews, this personal branding that I've told you earlier, because personal branding is one way, or in the reality, it plays a big role, right? Like for example, if you're good looking, there's something in the mind of the employers, right? The way you present yourself, your good communication skills, it matters. So we have to let them know that those are the expectations that they have to face after graduation. And then, of course, we also do teach them financial literacy, and even the being a professional, which covers a lot like cultural sensitivity and all. So there's a lot of topic, and we do it before in the normal way. We do it in the career center in training activity training room, which in every session we gather 100 of students and teaching them all of these things. So that's true that Miss Jessica have a different avenue where she owns the advising area, which she can talk one by one with the students. So I'm more of the training process with the students, educating them, teaching them, while Miss Jessica is having counseling or coaching one-on-one with them.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but now how I understand the process is like everyone goes through the modules that Miss Marley has prepared, and if you are looking for a more personal sort of advising or coaching, that is when you would contact Miss Jessica's team, and of course that's where you get to ask your very specific questions about your career path. What is it about, like my course, what's next, career mapping, that sort of thing. Is that correct, Miss Jessica? Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, actually, Miss Morty and I are working hand in hand to help our students, because our goal in TAP Career Center is to help our students to have a better future and to be successful in the future. So, during our college days, we don't experience this kind of thing. So, luckily with our students right now, they have this programs or this kind of services that we have in Career Center, not also in the student development program, but we also have different services in Career Center. We have the linkages wherein students can have the partnerships with different companies. We also have the career exploration, the alumni and placement office, wherein we were able to help a lot of students. So yes, what Miss Marty said about the resume, for example, she's going to teach about how to write a resume. Then students will plot or will do the resume, and then on the practice job interview, since I'm conducting practice job interview, I'll be checking the resume if they understand everything, or I will tell them what is the importance of the resume, which also what Miss Morley is also discussing during the session or during the seminar.
This is so good to hear, no? Like what I'm really getting from this is like TIP students are so lucky to have all these resources available to them
Exactly.
now, right? I guess like to wrap up our whole discussion, because I mean honestly now you gave everyone a good view of like what a career center is all about, what they can go to each of your teams for. Um, I guess for those also who probably don't have a career center or something like this in their schools, or anyone who's just watching na tapos na mag-graduate but wish na they had this sort of advice, like what's the number one advice that you can give to anyone early in their career right now, especially those who feel lost and confused based on like what you've learned in your job? What's the number one advice that you would give to our Gen Z audience now? Maybe we can start with Miss Marley.
All right, so I think I have three, not only one. So for me, the first is self-awareness. You have to start within yourselves, assess or observe what are the things that you love to do. So what's your big dream? What's your aspirations in life? Because self-awareness is very important, because this could be your core in knowing what kind of career you would like to have. That's why in TIP Career Center, we have, again, this so-called SDP journey. They will have this module entitled Who Am I? So what are the things you are passionate about? Because just like the saying from Confucius, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. So meaning when you love what you are doing, even if it gets hard, you will not easily give up, right? Again, walang madaling trabaho. It's just that you have to know what is at your core, what is your strength, what is your expertise, and of course, what is your dream goal. And second is the SMART method in writing down your goal. It's very important to put it in writing. So the SMART method would be specific. You have to be sure what you really want. You have to be specific with your goal. Measurable, meaning it should be visible, or um, you can see that you have achieved your goal. If you, for example, if you would say that you want to have your own construction firm one day, so you would see that you have achieved your goal if you already have that business already. And attainable, of course, that should be possible, and relevant, related or relevant to your aspirations, to your strengths, and time bound. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So I think you have to to start from there, begin with discovering your strengths. You have to be patient. You may take self assessments or explore different careers that match for you. Talk to people like, for example, your friends, professionals, family. Then think based on your strengths. Write down your goal in a smart way. And the last one is skill testing. You may explore by testing your skills, like doing a part-time jobs, having extracurricular activities on campus, doing some research, attending career development workshops, volunteer works, but definitely internship. So involving yourself through these activities will help you know which among those do you enjoy the most. So learn who you really are. So first is be aware of yourself, write down your goal in a smart way, and of course you have to test your skill. All right. So maybe in general, everyone is unique. Learn who you really are, know your strengths, identify your goal, explore, practice, and improve your weakness for you to know which career path you can build. Because as what the IT Career Center mantra says, building careers, creating the future.
Thank you for those tips, Miss Marley. Actually, before we go to Miss Jessica, now feels like a good time to remind the audience that we will be taking questions from you. So if you have any questions that maybe you would want the input of Miss Marley or Miss Jessica about, I already saw one. We'll ask that after they give their number one advice, because I feel like the advice can be also applicable to some of your questions. But if you want specific advice, you can go ahead and comment that already while we talk to Miss Jessica about her number one advice that she would give to you members of the audience now.
Okay, actually, I also have four tips or advice for our Gen Zs right now. So one is maximize the services of your career center. If you don't have career center at your school, I know that your school also wants to help every student. So also with your guidance office, because they offer a lot of opportunities of career development. So don't be afraid to ask, uh, and don't be hesitate to ask questions or to ask, since we are doing virtual. So I guess the schools will want to support every students that they have. And then second is you self assess and you discover your specialization, because that is very important. What you ask yourself, what are your skills, what are you good at, what are your aspirations, and what will be your goal if you choose that program. So, and then for my third tip is, okay, so sorry for that. So you know all the possible jobs. You do research. You do the what are the possible jobs for your course. And remember, because maybe some of you consider having a high salary, always remember, guys, that having a high salary also comes with high responsibility. You can actually earn a lot of money with your course or with your program right now. What the company will pay you is based on your skills and performance at work. So as long as you're passionate with what you're doing, you will definitely succeed on your career path. And lastly, for my tip is build connection. That is very important. You build connection as early as now. You try to build connection, because that connection can be your edge in choosing your course or your future goals. So yeah, that is my four tips. So one is maximize the services in your career center or the guidance office. Second is self-assessment and discover specialization. Third is know all the possible jobs for your course. And lastly is build connection.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say, if you don't have a career center at your school, there's also LIYAB, which is sort of a career center in itself. We offer actually a lot of the similar activities like mock interviews, resume consultations, and we have our career support group where you can ask any question, start a discussion there, and we'll all be happy to contribute our thoughts, right? And you can also even send a personal message to our Leah Facebook page, and then we'll try to respond as much as we can. So that's also an option if you don't have a career center at your school, or even if you're not in school right now, that doesn't mean that you don't deserve career support either. So that's what the is all about. We don't care where you're from or what kind of background you have, but we'll try to offer as much help as we can. So given that I just said that, right? Like we are all, I think, with the same mission of helping our Gen Z Filipinos really understand the next steps of their career. So we have a question in our Facebook Live that I'll read out it. I'll read it out to you verbatim, and then maybe Miss Marley, Miss Jessica, let me know if you both have anything to add, or if you one of you would want to take it, right? But the question we got is, I remember a friend telling me, akala ko yayaman ka sa accountancy real quick, di pala. So sad, no? So she said she's about to finish the same course this year, but she's still kind of curious as to what may happen in the future. She's thinking of learning more skills other than the program she's currently taking. Do you think po that this step would be helpful? So basically, how I understand the question is, do you think it's helpful for this person to learn more skills outside of the program that she's currently taking? Who would want to go answer this question first? Yes, Miss Jessica.
I can answer that. Okay. Actually, she's very lucky to graduate from the accountancy, because not everyone was able to pass the what we call the battery exam, and I guess she's very lucky because she's still in the accountancy program. And as I've said, when it comes to the salary, so the salary is based on your skills. So we all know that accountancy is also provide a freelance for I guess, every company or in need of accountancy. So not everyone can do the accounting stuff. So I guess you have to improve your skills also. You have to add more also, because that will help you if the company is in need of this specific job. At least you are now knowledgeable with that kind of thing, so they will not look for any other candidate, but they will prioritize you for that position.
All right. Thank you, Miss Jessica. Miss Marley, I actually have a different question for you, because we got another question. Now I
Sure.
think is better for you to answer it, because self-awareness, or is you've developed modules on self-awareness, right? So we got a question asking, since other schools don't have career centers that assist students in knowing more about themselves, do you think po that taking personality tests online would be helpful or reliable in assessing oneself? What do you think about this, Miss Marley?
Yes, definitely. You can do that. Actually, in the TIP Career Center, in TIP, we have different guidance and counseling center. It is different from the TIP Career Center. So, if the student would want to have in-depth discussion or in-depth learning about themselves, of course, we talk to them first. We would want to know what do exactly guidance they need, what kind of career guidance they need. And once we have identified that they are really confused and they don't really know how to start knowing themselves. Of course, in the AP Career Center, we have the SWOT analysis that Miss Jessica is doing. Of course, if you would want to have tests, practical tests, and personality development, you can definitely do that. That will be helpful. And of course, have um, more discussion with a licensed psychometrician, or to those people who are really knowledgeable in identifying oneself.
I guess, Miss Deirdre, I have to add another with what Miss Marty said. So, when it comes to online, you also have, you can actually take personality tests, but with the guidance or from the guidance office, because you also have to check the reliability of the exam that you're going to take. So, I guess your guidance office from different school are offering a lot of personality tests. So again, don't be afraid to ask, or don't hesitate to ask questions to your guidance office.
All right. Thank you so much for your input and for your time today, Miss Marley and Miss Jessica. As much as you want to answer as many questions as we can, no. I know I only asked for 30 minutes of your time today, and I know it's a weekday, so some people might have taken time off of like online class to watch our very short episode. But thank you so much for your time, for your input, and for the advice that you gave. Those are all very good places to start. Again, if there's anyone watching and you have more questions, I mean, this is only the first episode of this. We'll be inviting more career counselors in the coming weeks so that you get different perspectives as well, from other career centers, from a different part of the Philippines. I'm very excited actually. Right after this live, we'll be announcing the next school that will be featuring in these LIYAB live chats. And if you wanna send in your questions in advance already, you can join our LIYAB career support group. We have threads there. I read all of the threads there. So if you would want to input your question there, I will definitely try to include it in the next episodes. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you for tuning in live, for sending in your question. And thank you again, Miss Jessica, Miss Marley, and of course, the rest of the TIP Career Center for all the good work that you are doing. So, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.